Hello, friends, family, and occasional lovers. This is LORUSSO'S Room, the talk show where we talk most of the time, if not always, out of our hats about our thoughts, ideas, opinions, and most importantly, our studies and works with a variety of creative and artistic guests every week. I'm your host, Noah LORUSSO, and this week we have on the show, no stranger to the room, Grace Barkley. We sit down and we talk about the media that we consume on a regular basis and the effects that it has on our psyche. Strap in, strap on, and let's see if you're as mentally stable as you think after this long of watching SpongeBob. This is LORUSSO'S Room.
That scene from Saws where she jumps into the pool of needles.
Oh yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, that's
so fucking gross. I love Saw though. I've never watched any of the movies, but have you seen Kill Count on YouTube? It's by like Dead Meat or something.
No, maybe, but I don't think so.
They literally just like talk about horror movies or like slasher films and like rate the deaths in it and like the killings and show all of them on screen. So I've watched like every Saw movie, but only those parts, and it's fucking like it's so genius. I love the idea of like, wow, that sounds weird, but I guess like this is the only way to say it. But the idea of making death and torture into a game and making it so creative and elaborate, you can't keep your eyes off of it, I feel. Like, you can't, it's like, oh man, like, that was fucking, like, that dude's head just got, like, destroyed by the reverse bear trap. And, you know, like, I can see it and I, like, how it functions, but I want to see, like, the next kill. It's so crazy. Look, I love Saw, and I love the creative, like, idea of it. Because torture devices, they're fucking insane. They are the craziest fucking thing on the planet.
I mean, we're the only animals that would ever do that.
Cats
And
too.
You're the reason. You're a little happy about it is the reason why we do it. You're
well,
like,
I'm not
yeah,
okay. It's a movie.
Bear trap
It's a movie though. I'm not like going out, like, I'm not going into fucking red rooms and watching people die. I'm interested because it's a creative idea in a fucking movie. It's like that's why, you know, gore in movies doesn't freak me out because it's not real. And although it looks so real, it's not real.
Do you think it desensitizes?
I think anything can have that effect in somebody, where, you know, I don't believe music can turn you into a bad person or make you do bad things, but I do think that to somebody they can take the wrong message out of music, and it has happened. I don't think that's what breeds that quality in people. I think it's adapted because of a person's own psychological or a person's own psyche, I guess. That music or that movie is the catalyst that puts that in their brain. I don't think gory media, or I guess a good example is heavy rock music or death metal. I don't think that's inherently bad, but I think it takes the right person to take the bad out of it.
So do you think like you can either take it bad or not?
Yeah, definitely. I guess for an example is one of the biggest topics in video games is if they spawn violence. Is if you play violent video games, are you more likely to become a violent person? And most people who play video games will tell you that's not true. I do agree with that, but I have seen people kind of become desensitized because of the media that they've consumed in video games. One of the hot topics in this like whole spectrum is Grand Theft Auto. And people believe that makes people into mass killers, and it creates like larceny and all of this crazy fucking shit. Like, you will go out and steal an automobile. I don't think inherently um, Grand Theft Auto is, it's very violent. Yes, it is. I don't think anybody's going to disagree with you if you say that there's a lot of drugs, sex, and alcohol in those fucking games. And there's a lot of killing. I think there's been so many times where I've just went on the game so I could go on the sidewalk and just fucking just keep driving, because sometimes I think it's funny. And of course, like, it's a video game. You're meant to have fun. You're meant to find something that, like, you're like, oh, haha, that's funny. But I know in my head, that's not something that people would do in real life if they're not, like, if there's not something wrong with them. And I know in myself that I can never do that because, like, it's not a thing that's in my realm of thought.
The consequences are different.
Yeah, but I think there's a barrier in people's minds that they don't understand that disconnect between reality and simulation, I guess, is how I'll say it, or virtual world. Yes, that can cause people to take it in the wrong way. Now, I'm not saying that because they ran over 300 pedestrians in GTA 5 that they'll cause that action. But I do believe that it can affect a person's psyche to where they don't have the similar limit where, with us, maybe we wouldn't hit somebody if we're mad at them, or like we get into like a street scuff where somebody's mad at us, but somebody could. And that goes for almost anything in the world. Again, like, maybe because of the music that you listen to, your worldview is different, I guess.
I remember as a kid, like, I'd see something on TV and then I'd try it because I didn't know any better. So I'm just thinking, like, maybe, kids are still the same. They still, monkey see, monkey do.
100%, yeah.
So what you said about, you play these games where you're supposed to hit people to progress, and then, you try it in real life, and hopefully you try it as a child and realize, oh, it's not reality. And then you're over it and you can be able to tell the difference.
Yeah. That's 100% right. Because I know as a child, yeah, like, I would try things like that, but it wasn't like, oh, if I hit this person, then I'm gonna get fucking $15 worth of cash off them. It was more like, oh, SpongeBob can float with his pants. Let's jump off my bed and see if I can float. That was kind of the shit. So yes, consuming things at an early age can change your perspective. And I definitely think that is something to keep accountable. Because now as adults, I think we're definitely less impressionable with media and stuff. And I guess, like, that does depend on who you ask, because, I feel like there is still that level of impression. But I do think, yeah, as a kid, you're more likely to, if you don't get it then you might never get it.
Yeah.
And I guess, like, that goes with, like, what you keep in your life. If you have a traumatic experience, that could affect you down the line. Or if, you're obsessed with, I guess in my case, if you're obsessed with Pokemon, that's always going to be a part of your life in some way, shape, or form, whether it's through how you draw, what you draw, or, like, what you think about. Or, like, what kind of media you like. It's all that like impressionable mind, like the first time understanding something that will create a longer thing down the road. And again, I don't know much. I'm 18, but I'm gathering this from my own experiences. I do have some family based on the media that they consumed as young people. They are different and don't have these same qualities of understanding the disconnect between reality and virtual.
And you think that's from what they consumed?
I definitely think it plays a part. But then again, it's a multitude of things at work. I don't think we can pin it on one thing, and I don't think we can ever pin that kind of stuff on one thing. But I do know that I grew up playing GTA and stuff, and I don't think I'm violent because of it. I definitely think I'm crude because of it. I think that because I grew up watching Family Guy and American Dad, that my sense of humor has been affected, and I'm a little bit more crude because of it. And I say things that kind of come across like an asshole. So
Mm.
that's definitely to name like a personal experience. But yeah, that's kind of what I took from it.
And I think, we pick the games that we want to play. Like, I always play The Sims, and for that one, you can just let them live a normal life, or you can be weird and put them in a pool and make them live their entire life in a pool, or something like that, So I did that a lot, even though it wasn't the nicest thing to do for The Sims, because I was like, well, they're not really real, like, and it's a curiosity thing, I think, to be a little evil.
Yeah. I definitely think everybody has that like little bit of sadistic quality within them. And I don't think that's wrong. I think we do want to explore the things that we're not supposed to do. And I do believe in the right case that video games allow you to kind of explore that. I want to say explore that indirectly, although that sounds a little bit weird. But I think it's indirectly because I don't think the first thought is I'm gonna play Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege because I've always been interested in what a real military operator looks like, but I want to know what it's like to be them and fucking crash through somebody's ceiling to disarm a bomb. I think it's more I'm interested in tactics, and I'm interested in a team-based setting where I have to communicate with people. So let's try out that game. Vigil's in Hall. Oh, Vigil's actually dead. We killed each other, and but it's still kind of like fulfilling that. It's scratching that itch that you have. Maybe not in the same sense, but things like that have shown to affect like a person's life down the line. Like, for example, Minecraft. There's a lot of stories about people becoming architects because they loved building in Minecraft, and they loved figuring out how buildings work, and I guess they wanted to take it to a realer sense and make a lifestyle out of it. Even Minecraft, there's now and there has been for a while, but there's an educational version that teaches about I think it teaches about things like that, like architecture, but I think it's just a general learning program. So
yeah, and like it teaches you math, like it's kind of good.
Oh yeah,
mostly your first table, but
yeah. It teaches you to never go out at night, do not talk to strangers. Yeah.
And it's also a place, like, because it's such an open world, I think it's fun it's like everything online is real, but it's scaled down, so your brain, like, let's say you get a lot of pleasure from something in a video game, it wouldn't be the same as getting pleasure in real life, but it's like you still feel it, it's just less.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I really think that's a good way to like measure, like you try something and then you're like, oh, I kind of like that, but I also didn't. And then if you try something, you're like, oh my god, that was amazing, that was so fun. It kind of like, it's not reality, but it can shape your reality and helps you understand, like, it helps you understand reality through not reality. So there's like no consequence to doing things that you don't. Yeah, like you die and you're like, oh no.
Yeah, it's like, ah, shit, well, whatever. But that's a very strong point. And like, in a way, playing video games to like have that learning experience is almost like running a simulation to see like what the probabilities of you dying are. Where it's like, okay,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so that's actually a really interesting idea. And to give like another example, I've been playing a lot of Rust, just with my buddies. What's going on, Steve Donderhar? Rust is a sandbox first-person shooter. Don't fucking move! Don't fucking move! God damn you! Don't fucking move! And the entire goal of it is to build a base and then raid the other bases that people built and try not to have your base raided. Oh shit, Dale, there's fucking Hazzies right here. The reason why I bring up this game is because I think this game really builds this toxic sense of trust no one. Oh yeah, hey, yeah, you move my lantern, hey, yeah. Yeah, you know what you get for doing that kind of shit? Yeah. I think it builds like this very strong sense of like supremacy over other people. And even, not to talk about it in a bad way, because I don't think it's a bad way. I think that there's a time and place for everything. And I think if you need to take anger out on video games, that's fine. I think in a sense that's healthy, as long as you're not taking out on the people around you. But this game is definitely designed for you to get like mad at other people. It's 100% like that. But my good buddy, and I'm not gonna name him, just for his own privacy's sake, but he's a very cheery guy, and he's you know, he's always happy, and he's always very positive. But when we play Rust, he kind of changes his mode because he knows what he's in for. Where when we first started, he would really try to help people out, and he'd really try to like band together with strangers. Now he's learned the consequences of doing that, where it's like you're gonna get fucking shot, and you're gonna die, and you're gonna be unhappy, and you're gonna lose all your stuff. Now he's very much like, we need to stay together, and we need to make sure that people don't connect with us, and he sees the flaws in other players' things, and he'll just you know, there's one time where we saw a new player, and he was like, hey, like, can you give me some stuff? And this is like the moment where we all realize, we're like, oh my god, what is this game doing to us? Because, you know, he's just like, hey guys, like, could I have like something, because I want to make like a door. And we all grab our weapons, and we're like, get the fuck out of here, and we stab him. And then we all stand over him, and we're like, don't ask for anything ever again. And then we shot him, and we didn't give him anything. The reason why we did that is because we knew that in that position we wouldn't have been helped either. And it's just a weird thing where we knew that if we helped him, there was a good chance that it could have bit us in the ass, because, you know, we know that everybody's trying to build the biggest base, and everybody's trying to have the most guns, and everybody's trying to have the most access into other people's bases and other people's relations, so that they can raid and get more stuff. So it kind of builds that like idea. But I feel like giving this game to an impressionable 6-year-old, and maybe they wouldn't be able to, you know, let's pretend that they would be able to play it and play it well. I feel like that could build that sense of supremacy in them then, and have that inflicted into their whole life going onwards. But I think playing those games as adults and kind of understanding the disconnect between, you know, that world and our world is really important for us to like, for us to get it and push through it, I guess.
And it's a good way to like express that part of you. I would never play that game. Like, that game to me sounds like just a torturous bad experience.
We're on the road again. The long and windy road again.
Yeah, what John said.
But to you, and when you're playing with your friends, it's not. And that's very interesting to me, because like it just shows that we have different brains. Like, maybe it's a gender thing, like maybe it's not, like, I don't know. But yeah, I'm not into the hurt other people to get ahead.
Dude,
even in a video game.
No, I 100% get that. And I always say that like, you can take a couple of things from like a video game like that, where it's like, so like an experience like that will turn you into a nihilist, and nothing in the end matters. Or you can realize like when and why you need people so bad, because, you know, it's a group effort to make a change, or to like, you know, build yourselves up, or any of those like ideas. But and it's interesting, because I feel like on this subject I've definitely flip-flopped my ideas, where it's like, yes, video games do like, the media that we consume do affect us. And no, it doesn't. But I do have a bias, but I don't think I necessarily, like, I think I'm kind of blind to it. Because I do know in myself, yes, video games have affected the way I act. But in the same sense, they also haven't. And I think in the end, and like the kind of like conclusion I'll give to my thought process is it really just depends on what you take out of it. Because I think there's a lot of things that you can take out from music and media as a whole that can change your perception. But I don't think that it creates such a high extreme as what we think when we say the word violence, I guess, is how I can kind of conclude that for my thoughts at this moment.
Well, I don't think anyone who, loves violence, I don't think video games make people love violence. I think it just brings out the violence in people who enjoy violence. So I don't know if that means, like, the people who enjoy violence are more likely to take what they learn in a video game to reality, or if they're going to be satisfied just with being violent in video games because there's real people in them now. But I don't know, maybe it's a bit of both.
Well, yeah, because that's interesting that you say that, because I think that was like one of my first ideas, where it's like that's the catalyst behind their existing like mindset, I guess, or what will exist. That idea of their violence spawning from video games probably already had previous psychology factors behind that, whether that be sociopathic or something of that sense. Because I definitely think for the wrong person, yes, it will affect in a bad way.
Yeah.
That being said, I
Or
do
maybe
love
not.
shooting some people on Call of Duty.
Sorry?
Don't worry.